Okay, everyone, this is Miss White, and I am making a video for those students that need help with the single controller. And of course, we need to make sure that our units are in inches. I created a sketch on my front plane, and I have my construction lines. Okay, so we are going to be looking at this is sheet 2 and sheet 3. So sheet 1 shows us how the control unit or the controller should look. Okay, so I'm going to start with sheet 1. And actually, I don't think I'm going to need sheet 2 at this point. I'm sorry, I'm going to start with sheet 2. I don't think I need sheet 3 at this point. I will probably go over this again on Friday. If I do anything with sheet 3, it will be this rounded rectangle and then these 4 holes right here. So this tells us that we need to start with a circle that has a radius of 1 5/8. And then we have these dimensions here, the 6 3/8 and 7 1/16. But we are going to add an inch to both of those dimensions. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to sketch out my circle. I will dimension that. So this says that we need a radius of 1 5/8, but we know that the radius is 1/2 of the diameter. So I'm going to put 2 times 1 plus 5/8. Okay, it doesn't like that. Let me put times that way. Okay. And then I'm going to start sketching out the rest of the shape. And this should be, we're going to make a rectangle, sort of. Okay, so don't worry about the size just yet. We are going to make these dimensions. So from here to here, we our plan says 7 1/16, and we're going to add an inch. So it's going to be 8 plus 1/16. The bottom of this should be 3 inches wide. And then from our construction line to the bottom, that will be 1 plus 6 3/8. So we're going to put 7 plus 3/8. Okay, so everything should be black. And you all know that I hate ugly sketches, so I'm just going to clean this up a bit. So now what does this call for? This says that we should have fillets. So this says our fillets are going to have a radius of 1/2 inch. So we have this fillet right here, we have this fillet right here, and we have this fillet right here. So what I'm going to do is we cannot fillet from a curve right here and right here, but we can fillet from a point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw a line so that I can fillet that point right there. And then I'll draw a line from here to here, and then I'll fillet that point. Okay, so I'll grab my fillet tool. I'm going to fillet this one first because I just know that it will be much easier. So that's going to be 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to select this diagonal line, and then I'm going to come to the right of it, because if I come to the left of it, it's going to give me an error. That's not what we want. Okay, so I'm going to come to the right and I'll select that line and make sure that's 1/2 inch. So down here, I'm going to select this line and I'll select the line below it. I'll make sure that's a 1/2 inch. And I press escape to release my tool. And so now what I'll do is I'm going to delete those diagonal lines. So there is another way to put that arc in, but I think this is probably the easier way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that arc and I'm going to select my circle, and then I'm going to make them tangent. Okay, so I'm going to grab this arc and I'll grab the circle and I'm going to make that tangent as well. So notice that this is still not grayed out. That's because this is not enclosed. So what we're going to do is we're going to select that point, and then we'll select the circle, and then we will make it coincident. And likewise with this one, select the point and then select the circle, make it coincident. Everything is black and we have gray. So the last thing that we need to do is, if we look here, let's look at this one. If we look here, we see that we have this wall. So we're going to need to extrude it. But this circle right here, part of that was taken out. So we're going to remove that part. Okay, so after we remove that part, we're going to extrude to 3/16. And I'm looking at my right elevation view right here. And then after we do that, it says that we need a wall thickness of 3/32 of an inch. And in order to get that, we're going to need to use our shell tool. Okay, so first, let's grab our trim tool. That's the scissors. And we're going to just delete those parts of this circle that we don't need. Okay, so this is what we have so far. So after we have that, let's go ahead and save those changes. We're going to select our controller. We're going to extrude to 3/16. And then let's take a look at the isometric view so that you can see that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create a shell. We're going to create a shell on that face right there. And this says that we need a wall thickness of 3/32. And this is what we should have so far. So I'm going to stop this part of the recording, and then I'll make another recording where we will delete part of this shell because we need a place to slide our batteries in. And then we will continue with our rounded rectangle and then our circles. So that will be in the next video. Okay, so if there are any questions, please let me know.